and welcome to Quiarcus Plays Warhammer Mark of Chaos. Now, I'm digging out this old game in sort of celebration, really, because Creative Assembly and Sega have just announced that they are going to be releasing soon to the world Total War Warhammer, which I think most of us have been really waiting for if you're a fan of the Total War games and these sort of strategy games and of Warhammer, since the days of the Shadow of the Horned Rat and Dark Omens games, which were way back in the mid-90s. If you haven't seen those games, by the way, I advise you to have a look at them if you can find them. They were pretty good for the time, and they still hold up quite well these days. So, what is Mark of Chaos? In a similar vein to Rome and the such, Rome Total War, Shogun Total War, it's a real-time strategy war game with sort of more of an emphasis on positioning of blocks of infantry rather than individual troops. And you don't have as much, how should I put it? As much empire level management as you do in a Total War game. It's very much focused just on the fights, and there's a little bit of camp management. You have to equip your soldiers, etc. But beyond that, it's mainly about the fighting. So we're going to leap in here, and we're going to play as the good guys this time around, the forces of the Ostermark, just because, if I'm remembering correctly, they have more of the Citadel fighting in a defensive capacity rather than an offensive capacity, which I find to be more fun generally. If we've time, depending how long this takes, we might play through as the Hordes of Chaos later. So let's jump in.
In the months following Emperor Magnus's great victory over the Chaos Hordes at the gates of Kislev, sporadic fighting plagued the lands of the Northern Empire. Though scattered and leaderless, Chaos warbands still ravaged south, pillaging and destroying. Hard-pressed, the armies of the Elector counts grew weary from constant war. Even as the first chill of autumn touched the air, Count Otto von Gruber of Ostermark gathered his forces east of the Middle Mountains to battle yet one more incursion. Amongst his captains was young Stefan von Kessel, a man with a reputation tainted by the execution of his grandfather for chaos worship, and whose brand-scarred face bore the mark of chaos itself.
It is imperative that we hold the higher ground from which we can bombard the enemy with our cannons. Captain Steimer will hold the line of this side of the River Ospek, backed up by Captain Feldsturm's artillery.
What is my role, Count?
You will take a contingent across the river and attack the watchtower the Chaos forces are holding on the hill. Drive them back and secure that hill so Feldsturm can set up his battery on the higher ground.
Okay, so I should have mentioned before the videos that I will probably remain quiet during the videos and the speaking sections, just to give you a feel for the game in its truest sense. Alright, let's get stuck in, shall we? It's been a long time since I've played this. So as you can see, we've got a nice sort of battlefield. Might be familiar to anybody who's played sort of the Rome Empire kind of games before. Now we've got our units ready to deploy. This is how most fights start, giving you the option of where you deploy your troops. So if I click over there, I can move them around prior to deployment. And you can see that it's got true line of sight. So if your troops can't see around a tree, you won't be able to see anything there. Right, so then we're going to arrange our squads. We've got some handgunners, 2 units of handgunners. We're going to put them together. And you might notice that in the middle we've got a guy here. Oops, daisy. Can't remember how to rotate the camera at the moment. Guy here, this is Captain Stefan von Kessel, who's our hero. And you can see that you get this kind of skill tree system for your heroes, and you pick up a couple of them. And it's important. So you've got 3 chains here. We've got combat, duel, and command, and they will alter what happens throughout the game. I'll dig into this more as we get through, but for now I just want to really get into the fight. So I'm going to attach him to my swordsman, because that'll make them fight harder, which is what we want. And we're going to assign them to group 1. Right, let's move him up, and our handgunners up, and let's end the deployment phase and get going.
From the walls of that tower we can strike forth at the hated slaves of darkness. The gods have offered up this hour for our
So there's our first target.
With fervor and salve your anguish with the blood of the Northmen. Drive them back to their caves and take that tower.
The southern cowards have found us! Kill them all!
He's a terribly dramatic fellow, isn't he? So we're going to just advance slowly to begin with. We're going to move our handgunners into range. We're going to jog them into range so that they've got longer to shoot. Love those little clouds of smoke going up as they fire.
The gods have granted this day to earn our glory.
I'm going to split my handgunners so that they can attack from separate angles and not fire through my troops.
Need to be destroyed before we can advance.
Our troops doing. You can see they're doing quite well, and I can actually activate. I could have activated his ability, or I did. There we go. That fellow was running and got slaughtered, I'm glad to say. We got some gold, that's kind of cool. We're going to pick that up. What else have we got up here? We've got some marauders and axe throwers. So I'm going to go into them. Our swordsman and our pistoliers are going to take the rest of them out, and you can see that we've got allies just in the background on the horizon there. So I'm going to move a bit quicker with our handgunners because we don't want our swordsman to be vulnerable. He's going to activate his armor of contempt to make him tougher. Give him a little bit more chance of survival. You can see we're slaughtering them with our handgunners up here. These axe throwers are being torn to ribbons.
We shall prevail.
And so far we're doing okay here. We've got 23 of 24 troops left. Their morale's good. And they've got 1 guy left now. I think we're going to slay them to a man. Yes, we do we? Yes, we do.
Again. Captain Feldsturm can set up his battery from here. Guard our people.
Just going to move our troops around a bit. Just see what's down this hill here. I love these buildings. They've got lovely. Oh, look, we can go in that. Cool. Got the poor guy in the iron cage there. Wonder what he did to be put up there. It's a wonderful world, the Warhammer world. I really like it. It's got a lot of character. It's much darker than a lot of fantasy worlds out there.
Captain, look! It seems we're not fighting
Certainly than your
alone.
typical fantasy world, anyway. Oh, we've got a new character now. We've got a wizard coming up. We're going to try and rescue him before too much happens to him. Now we've got control of him now. We're going to put the Flaming Shield of Arnor on. That will help him in combat. Now we're going to try and break him out of the fight. Can we? Now he's tied up. Yep, there we go. He's out. So we've got a wizard. Something a little bit different. We're going to hurl a fireball over there. Or do I have to right click it? Yes, I have to right click it, I think. No, he just doesn't want to. Oh, there he goes. Which is something you don't see in the other games, in the other sort of Empire type games. Nice ability to hurl fireballs at people. They're charging in. How are we doing for models there? We've lost quite a few models now here. I'm going to activate the Armour of Contempt again if we can. No? Not enough power. Okay. He's a bit exhausted from his previous fights, I guess. Okay, we're going to take down this, because that's our mission. And move our mage in as well to deal with it. And there we go. Picked up some enchanted armour, which we'll have a look at, because you can look on the character window and you can see you can also assign items and potions to them, and they do level up. So I think that is our mission done for now. So we're just gonna, because we can't cross the river, and there's the artillery that we were clearing the way for, Veldstrom. There's 2 huge cannons. Later on you do get to use these things yourself, which is kind of cool. And the bad guys get some very interesting weapons. But I'll play through as the good guys for now. And then later on, if we have time, I shall try and play through as the bad guys. Because they're a lot of fun to play through as. See, wish this bit would go a little bit quicker. See, the enemy's got artillery up there. Hell cannons.
Those abominations will kill no more men of the Empire. Signal the advance! Praise Sigmar! Victory!
And there we go, first mission done. Most of the fights in the game are quite quick. Let's just have a look at the unit scores. Lost 6 men, killed 73, that's not bad. Found 3 items, got a lot of gold. Yeah, nothing else there really to look at. Took about 6 minutes to get through, so that's pretty good.
A finely won victory, wouldn't you say, Count Gruber?
I would have said hard fought, Captain Steimer. The priests of Moor will be busy for days burying the dead, don't you think?
A costly victory, yes, Captain von Kessel, but one that we had to achieve. Count Feuerbach's army has suffered many casualties these past months, and last week he took my advice to pull back his forces to Talabayam. If we had failed today, the Northmen would have killed everyone between here and Wolfenburg within days. Our army stands alone.
We cannot rest until the Chaos Filth are driven from Sigmar's realm.
Fine words, von Kessel. Though it is the traitors in our midst that concern me more than the Northman hordes.
If you have an accusation to make...
Enough! Word from the generals of Kislev is that another horde is gathering in the north. War bands still roam freely. The safety of the Empire is far from assured at the moment. We must strike hard against this invasion and choke it in its infancy. We must attack where they are gathering.
I would be honored, my lord.
No, I need you with my army. Von Kessel will head north and seek out their camp.
As you command, my lord. Where would you have me march?
Travel east and north, via Esterdorf if you need to resupply, and press on further northwards. There are regiments from my army and others on patrol in the region. Gather up any of them if you can. We will need as many men as possible for the battles ahead.
I hope you can be trusted. Disobedience is in your blood.
My loyalty is to the Empire alone.
There we go. So you get a sense now that in the beginning they said that the forces of chaos were marching around and there's a larger horde forming. We're kind of defending. So here we are. Now this is the world map. And as you can see, we've got various points to reach and march through. You can see occasionally you get these side missions to do as well. So our goal is to reach here. Gotterung, the Stronghold of Darkness. Sounds like a charming place, doesn't it? And here we are at the moment with Stefan. So we're going to march down. You can see that doesn't look very good, does it? I'm going to march down to Garlic. Garlish? Garlech? I don't know. Let's just make camp first. So this is the camp screen. And this is where we can upgrade our troops, reinforce them. So I can cost 35 gold to replace one unit. I'm down to half strength, so I really have to replace them all. Very important to maintain a strong unit, so 630 to replace everybody. Done. Okay, how about our handgunners? Yep, and there we go. So you want to keep losses to a minimum because, as you can see, it costs quite a bit to replace them. And that's just what you can do with a normal camp. We're going to march on to a city now. And you should be able to see there's a few more options here.
Hey, Sigma! It's been a long while since we saw an army in these parts. And the northern warbands grow bolder every day. We have a fine inn for those who wish to relax. And you may find more men willing to join you at the barracks. If it's supplies you'll be needing, then we have a man with some talent with a hammer and anvil, and also a specialist in more exotic goods, an alchemist by trade. There's a shrine too for those wishing for something a bit more spiritual for their refreshment.
Okay, so let's have a look. So this is the main overworld screen really. So you can see we've got 4 locations we can visit. If we enter the temple, we can get blessings for our next fight. You can see it increases morale and the attack to increased chance to hit in the next battle by 5% after a missed attack. So it just increases their chance to bash people in, essentially. The armory contains everything you'd expect. Weapon upgrades, armor upgrades, additional men for your units. You can get 3 more champion, so he'll make them fight a little bit harder. Musician, who'll help their morale, help regenerate quicker. And the bannerman, who will increase their standard morale, their maximum morale, by 15%, but also allows you to use magical banners, which you can find along the way. We've got 1 here, so that would reduce the amount of morale we lose. We can also buy, for later on, siege equipment, which is kind of cool. So we're going to have a look at our handgunners. We'll probably upgrade their... Let's upgrade the handgunner's attack to begin with. There we go. And we're going to upgrade the shields and attack ability of our melee regiments. And we're also going to give them all champions, because we want to do it like that. No? Okay, just want to do it like that. That's strange. Wonder why it allows us to pick us up then. Pick it up then. There we go. Give them banners. Oops, daisy. Didn't really want to buy a ladder. Get rid of that. No, that's kind of annoying. I didn't want to get the ladder. That's a good start, isn't it? And you can't get rid of these blessed things, can you? No, so it looks like they're going to be carrying a ladder into the next fight. Interesting. Good start. Barracks. You can pick up some more standard troops. I'm not going to bother for now. We should be able to make do with what we have. And the alchemist. Here you can buy all sorts of magical weapons and armor and occasionally magical bits and pieces. So we're going to have a look. The staff of transference, that would probably be really useful for our bright wizard. 300 gold. So we're going to buy that for him. There we go. So he's got extra mana. And he's got 2 magic resistance, which will help defend against enemy attacks. Now I'm going to get the Blade of Slaying for Stefan. We're going to see his levels as well. So, 3 separate talent trees. Combat, so that'll help him directly in a fight. Things like Storm of Steel, which allows him to deal damage directly to enemy units, etc. Indomitable Constitution makes him tougher in a fight, yada yada yada. Command, which will allow him to give buffs to troops around him, the attached squad he's in, which is pretty cool. And finally, Duel. Now, this is kind of important because At certain times throughout the game, you'll find yourself fighting one-on-one, your captain or one of your heroes versus another enemy hero. And they play out like little mini games. And it's important to have at least one character who's good in a duel. Now, I don't know if we're going to make it Stefan. Shall we make it Stefan? Probably be a good idea to get him ranked up in this to begin with. Yeah, we're going to rank Stefan up as our duelist this time around. So, Hand of Sigma. So we're going to give him Deadly Strike because this will give him a flat 1+1 to damage with a 50% chance to hit, but it's an activated ability. Whereas Deadly Strike gives a flat 5% chance to add 1 damage. So that's a maximum 25% chance that every single strike he does will do 1 damage, as opposed to just having a 50% chance to do 1 extra damage every now and again. So we're going to go with this one. And put 2 into it, so he's got 10% chance now that every strike will do an extra point of damage. And for our wizard, well, we've got to go with combat with this guy. Make him even more pew pew. And we reduce the cooldown. So we could increase his fireball, which would be kind of cool. And he does need it for... Okay, so as you'd expect, some skills are reliant on others. So we're going to increase his fireball to begin with. Right, there we go. I think that's all we need to do here. We probably have enough time for one more mission, so let's have a look what the future brings. I'm possibly attacked by a horde of vicious greenskins. So here we get to select who we're taking to our fight. Now at the moment our force is quite small, so we can afford to take everybody. But in later fights, you know, you have different restrictions. So there's your stereotypical bad guys, the orcs. Aggressive tribal creatures that just like to rampage and destroy. There we go. Okay, so again, deployment, we're going to slap Stefan. Oh, thankfully they didn't bring their ladder with them. That's a relief. So we're going to slap Stefan into his unit there, and we're going to move. We're going to put him into the unit of handgunners. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the map. Got a blank zone there. There's the people we're trying to relieve. Looks like knights. Yeah, okay. Knights and some handgunners. Fair enough. So it should be relatively straightforward. We've got multiple paths we can take. We'll just see how the battle evolves.
Prepare for battle! Our comrades are beset, but we shall deliver them from this filthy horde. Move swiftly and decisively. With courage and strength, we shall destroy the greenskins before they know they are doomed. Strike like the hammer of Sigmar himself!
Come on, greenskin scum! You'll pay in blood!
They're all very verbose, aren't they? Like the sound of their own voices by the sound of it. Some orc boys, some orc arrow boys. So we're going to take out the arrow boys.
The ground is boggy here and will slow you down. March around the mud and mires.
So we've got to avoid, again, terrain plays a role in this, like most strategy games, as you kind of expect.
We have learned much from the
Orc, the arrow's got a little bit of a drop on us by the looks of it. I'm just going to split them off to attack, as the orcs will probably be held in place. This is one of the problems with this game, is you're quite free to just break out of combat. It doesn't really have any strong hold on you. You can move out with units anytime you fancy.
Sharpen your blades, men. The general has ordered.
Got a brazen helmet. Let's just check.
Ideal firing positions. Make use of them.
Yep, okay. So we've got some palisades here,
Ready and prepared. Take out
and you can see that we can actually take cover behind them and reform our lines in the middle. I'm actually going to set them to run our foot troops.
We await your orders. Ready and prepared.
Perhaps I
Yes, my
shall
lord.
build a
Take out
tower.
firing positions.
They don't seem to be running.
Captain, the greenskins have trolls with them. What should we do? My lord. Fire, fire, fire! We are yours to command.
Perhaps I shall build a tower.
Move our halberdiers in there. They've got a big troll up there, I can see.
We fight for the count.
Move in. Oops, Daisy. You get for selecting a group instead of just the individual units. Okay, we're going to reform because we've got orcs charging in again.
Taking new ground, my lord.
Death for glory!
Unleash a fireball at a second on these guys when they get into range. Actually onto the troll, because he's quite tough, troll. So we're going to deal with him with a luck at range.
We stand ready to fight.
Is he going to fire his fireball? Yes he is, there we go. No.
Victory or death!
Okay, we're going to charge in from the sides here.
Law of fire is mine to command.
No luck we can affect their morale as we charge in.
We shall prevail.
Activate a couple of our abilities.
We are yours to command.
Unleash a fireball there. Uh-oh, I didn't see that. We've got disengaged, we got caught out
Glory to the Empire!
from a flank there. Wasn't paying attention to our back line there. Thankfully, you can see it was really easy to disengage.
The bright colored opposite eve.
Send a fireball after them. Did a nice bit of damage there.
Kill the greenskin bastards! Kill them all!
Guard our people. Death will follow me.
The bright colored opposite eve.
Yeah, it's proving quite easy to clear this lot up. Lost a few halberdiers by the looks of it, but nothing too major. Firing into combat does actually run the risk of hitting your own men, so it's not the best strategy to use, but never mind. We're going to reform our gunners up here because we've got some orcs up on this hill line here. We've got another troll waiting up there as well.
While one foe draws breath.
We've got some orcs reformed, so we're just going to protect the flank here with our halberdiers. They're a bit injured, but they'll be more than enough to take out these orc boys creeping up towards us.
Wind of action blows strong here.
Gonna get our handgunners into range to take a shot at them.
We shall make our what is your command, General? Slash and thrust.
That should be enough to take out these orcs. Yeah, you can see they're winning quite handily there.
We stand ready to fight. Ready and prepared.
Another fireball. You can see this blue bar at the top. This is our magic power.
The enemy will pay with their blood.
Okay, and they've succeeded, so we're going to reform them over here. Increase their armor and charge them in again.
Sigmar! Slaughter these savages!
Good take out. This is going to be a bit risky because we're firing into our back line, but we got it before it became an issue. Sending a fireball into your troops will obviously hurt your troops. We're going to set up a charge if we can from behind. No, not going to let me do that.
More enemies. Kill them. Kill them.
I'm going to charge them in then. Assuming I couldn't reform them, perhaps this hill is impassable terrain. There we go.
Protect our lands.
I'm going to charge in again. Oh, we've got some. Go reform the line to fire behind us. Goblins, thankfully, are quite easily dissuaded. Just like that.
Defeat is impossible.
Troops up there are looking a little bit thin, so we're going to move up now with our handgunners. Doing quite well, mopping up these orcs and goblins with relative ease here. Shouldn't have used my ability there, that was kind of a waste. Doing okay, looks like we've got... Oh, there's a goblin shaman here, and here we go, we've got the ability to charge in here. You see he's got this circle around him. This is going to be a duel. So you get to choose who you want to duel, and once you're into the duel, everybody will clear a space around. Oh, he got killed before he got the chance to do it. But they would have cleared a space for him to fight in, and there would have been a big old scuffle, and I'd had to use timed abilities, and it can be quite fun in the middle of a fight to have to run with all these abilities and skills and different things happening. And I think that is the orcs and goblins defeated. Yeah, looks like it. Oh, we've got some left, have we? Yep, there we go, okay. And then another fireball, because they're always awesome. With a mass gunfire from our handgunners, they shouldn't get away. There we go. All dead. Everything's dead. Which is kind of cool. Later on you get to fight giants and all sorts of things, and daemons and goodness knows what. I don't see any other goblins or orc units. Where's the... Is that the objectives? No? Okay. No, maybe we just have to get into the middle here. Could be. Ah, there's our quests. Yeah, okay, so we have to reach the camp, so that's probably what's not happened. There we go. Second quest down. Pretty good. Did lose a few men in our halberdier regiment and our swordsman, but nothing too major. They should be reasonably easy to replace. Yeah, we lost 20 men in total to 146 killed. That's a pretty good return, I think. Okay, let's have a look at what is next. We also picked up a couple of magical items.
You're a welcome arrival.
Master Kurt Leuten. I'm Captain Stefan von Kessel, here with messages from Count Gruber. I was warned of Chaos warbands all over this area, but there was no mention of orcs.
This was just a raiding force. Our patrols found a camp to the east, but there's too many of them. I have another detachment to the north. With your men, we can hunt the orcs down.
Our orders are quite specific. We are to march northwards with all speed. Master Leuten, the Count needs your aid in fighting the Northmen.
My men will be here to protect the road and the villages against orcs. Until that army has been scattered, I'm not going anywhere.
We need every soldier we can get to fight the Northmen. Another horde is gathering, one that will make the orcs seem like a mere nuisance. Talabayam itself could fall. Thousands of women and children slaughtered!
All right, all right. I'll leave enough men to patrol the road, and I'll take the rest to muster with the Count.
Thank you. You are a man who knows his duty.
So, after we succeeded in killing everything, we found 3,500 gold. That's pretty good going. I'm going to march on to... Actually, we're going to have a quick look in the town. Replace our losses. There we go. It's quite expensive to replace your losses on the march, sadly. There we go. Oof, that was pricey. Of course, it goes up as they get armor and the such. You have to account for replacing armor that you've lost. Let's just have a look at the alchemist. And our troops actually leveled up, so he's got 2 more levels here. So again, we're going to go with his deadly strike. I don't think we picked up anything else. Got Staff of Sorcery, Potion of Sustenance. I wonder if we can use that. Can we use that outside of combat, or do I have to use it in combat? I think I'll probably have to use that within the actual battle itself, but it'll give +1 to his max HP. Which is kind of cool, because we want to make him a tank. And we're going to pass the staff onto our mage. Let's have a look. +5 sight, +10% to all spells. Or the mana pool. Well, we'll try him with this one for now. And as per his levels, 1, 2. 2 more ranks in Fireball. So he's even more destructive with that thing. Close. Okay, I think we're done here. Oh, just check the... Well, there's probably nothing new at the barracks. Let's move on to the crossroads. Here we've got a choice in which direction we go. So we can choose to go up to the Orc camp, which is an optional mission, or we can go straight on to Ostermark. Well, we're going to go up and fight the Orcs. Do the optional mission, get the extra quest rewards, etc. So they've made their camp, and we are going to go in and slaughter them. With any luck. That's the plan anyway. There we go. That is easier, isn't it? Keep forgetting about these buttons down here. Right, let's get in there and kill more filthy greenskins. Orcs can be pretty tough to kill at times. As they get older, they get bigger and stronger. And just like the ones in the Warhammer 40,000 universe, I believe that they are actually a form of fungus. A giant mushroom. We're going to actually connect him up to the swordsman again. He did quite well last time. Put him with the handgunners. Assign these to groups. Right. End deployment. I'm going to try and avoid these swamps.
Remind the greenskins of that victory today. Be brave and show no mercy.
Yeah, as I said, he's a very verbose chap, isn't he? Which adds to the flavour of the game. I like it, quite frankly. Adds a nice touch. Still just out of range of the fireballs. But you can't hide from a fire mage, a mage of the right college.
Death and glory! A giant! Sigmar, help us!
Oh.
They won't even feel our bullets!
They have a giant. Oh my. And the game was pretty cool to look at in the day. It still looks nice even now. Okay, it's not up to the quality of games that have come out since. You know, it's not up to the quality of Rome Total War and the such. But it's still a damn nice looking game, in my opinion. I'm just going to try and cut some of them down in retreat. Can we? Can we get there? Because they will reform if they're not taken down to a certain number. So might as well just shoot them in the backs as they're running. We got them. Totally and utterly wiped out. That's good. Actually, no, one. We're going to line up with squad 2 here. And as you'd expect, you've got fatigue. And if you keep running your troops around, they will fight less well in future engagements. Okay, we're going kind of split here. We're going to position our foot troops so that they can cover our ranged units. Staggered attack. I think I get rid of this screen of goblins. I'll try to. Allow them to make the charge. Then we're going to come in from the side in the flank with our main troops. We're going to activate their special abilities. There we go. There's another lot of orcs down. Now, I've got that giant up there. I don't want to get too close to him because he will tear us to shreds if he's allowed to get into combat with us. So what we're going to have to do is actually... what's happening there? What we're going to have to do is move around them, which means going up through this corridor here. I can't remember if they have ammo in this one. I don't think you do. I think they chose to forego that reasoning, I suppose, that you would bring enough ammo into a fight. So we're going to try and sneak past this guy, which is easier said than done. We're going to go into a tight formation. Can I move in a column? Yes, that's what we want to do. So we want to switch these guys to column motions so that they're nice and narrow. Of course, if I get caught in this formation, that can be quite dangerous. So we're going to try and trot past this guy before he notices us. We're going to go into the back roads. Sorry about the camera, it's not the neatest of works.
There is bloody work to be done this day.
Okay.
Fire is mine to command.
Right, just widen them back out into their looser formations. Could be a good idea to keep your handgunners a little bit loose sometimes. You can see you can change. If I do that, they spread out. Which has its uses,
Defeat is impossible.
especially when facing other artillery or other ranged weapons. Here we're coming up on the back of the orc camp, by the looks of it, or the side at least. I'm tempted to try and take on that giant later on if we can. FT's going down a little bit. I might switch them to walking in a sec. Here we go. So what have we got here? Now they've got their orc war boss at the front there. He's got extra points, we're going to assign it. Yes, you can assign abilities and such on the move. Going to drink his potion down. There we go, that should increase his max hit points for this fight. It's coming up, because we're going to have a big old bash. Oh, he's got an upgrade as well. There we go. Saves you having to do it later on. Let's see what's the range of his fireball now. Can we get these guys? Nice old blob of green skins there.
We are yours to command. Onwards, brave lads!
Put a fireball in.
Puny coward! I'll soon sort you out!
Death for glory! Stand firm!
There we go. Our handgunners are opening fire first.
Independent fire!
We'll do volley fire on the leader. We're going to accept his challenge. So here we go. This is the... So we're going to parry. And unfortunately, while this is all happening, you kind of lose track of what's going on in the rest of the fight. You're just going to have to hope that your troops are capable of holding the line. We're going to send a fireball back in there. Going to use his Hand of Sigma ability. You can see he's doing quite handily actually. There we go, we need to send in these guys, our halberdiers, to back up our swordsman. Parry, just to give him an extra defensive bonus, then do another Hand of Sigma. Doing quite well there, and we took him down. Unfortunately now, of course, Stefan is broken from his unit, so we're going to have to put him back in there in a sec. Boots of leaping, hey? Uh-oh, we've got something moving up behind us.
The Bright College offers its aid.
There is bloody work to be done this day.
We're going to move our foot troops back down to deal with this threat.
gods have granted this day.
He's going to charge in on his own here, so he's going to use his special ability to defend himself. Then use his attack, because we don't want him getting killed here, do we? That would be kind of disastrous. Going to attach him to the swordsman again. Did we get the swordsman? No, we got the halberdiers. Okay. Don't want him in the halberdiers, we want him in the swordsman.
The faithful shall prosper. Victory or death!
Okay, looks like we've been doing okay there. Did we get everyone? I think we did. Let's have a look in the camp though. I think we might have to actually burn these down, do we? Yeah, we have to destroy all the tents. So,
We are yours to
let's get on to it then, shall we? Let's break these tents down. There's one.
I
command the powers
The gods have granted this day to earn our glory.
Quite easy to do with the range guys. Try and pick these up as we go.
There will be no respite while one foe draws breath.
Don't get too close there, are they?
I command the powers of pyromancy.
Don't want to anger the
College offers its
giant if we can. That would be somewhat disastrous.
victory. I shall leave a scorched
The
trail.
Emperor rewards the bravest.
Because he's big, and he'll make a mess of us with that huge tree club he's using.
There will be no respite while one foe draws
The Bright
breath.
College offers its aid.
I wonder if I can use a fireball on these. And the answer is yes. Well, that does a remarkable job, doesn't it? Look at that.
Fight for the Empire!
Oh, we've got another bit of gold there. And we've got a scroll. Not doing too bad there. Picking up quite a bit of... This is why it's a good idea to do these little side quests, because you can pick up lots of really handy goods. It really is a fun little game. I recommend anybody who can get hold of it to do so. It's a shame that the series didn't continue.
ready to fight.
The original ones, things like Shadow of the Horned Rat, were actually devilishly difficult in places.
Praise Sigmar! Victory is your...
You had to fight to reclaim a dwarven city called Zufbar, and some of the missions leading up to that were difficult to say the least, but so much fun. And I find this game fun. It's not as tactically deep as Rome and the such, but it's entertaining. It looks good, it feels good to play. And the added magic is always an entertaining factor. There we go, another 3,500, not bad. So we're going to march up to Urstorf, and then I think we shall probably call it a day for this one. Let's just replace our losses. Isn't too bad, actually. Did quite well that time. And as they get more experience, their squad size increases as well, until they end up being quite huge, as you'd expect an army to be.
Sergeant, make your report.
I'm Wolfgang Spritzen of the Eldenwald Patrol. We've been tracking raiders south of here.
Count Gruber is ordering a muster of all soldiers in the area.
The trail is getting colder. We can join you if that's your order, Captain von Kessel.
Okay, so we've got a unit of... Who joined us there? Some huntsmen. They're kind of like light skirmishers. They can be quite handy in a fight. Now, we're going to actually at the armory upgrade our firepower here, because we've got lots of gold at the moment. We're gold rich. So 300, we're going to upgrade our handgunners to their maximum. And how much would be 300, 900? Yeah, let's upgrade our firepower to the maximum there as well. Well, not our firepower, but our defensive bonuses. There we go. So that should help them last significantly longer in combat. Right, and let's get march. Ooh, just a second. Alchemist, anything new? No. Okay, fine. Those look okay. Anything new in the barracks? No. Okay, close, close. March on to Ursdorf. And that's where we're going to leave it for now. That's all I've got time for this video. I'm sorry we have to end it there, but I can't go into another fight. It will run on too long. Hope you've enjoyed what you've seen. It's a great little game. It gets quite complicated later on. There's lots of new units and lots of fun things to do. So I hope you stay with me for this one. If you've got anything you want to say, any comments you want, if you want to reminisce about some of the good old days of gaming, then please feel free to contact me on my Twitter or Google Plus pages at Quiarcus. Until then, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I shall see you again next time. Bye bye for now.